All right. Well, for those who don't know me, my name is Brian McKeever. I'm co-owner of Bitstream. We are a small software development shop in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And raise your hand if you know where Grand Rapids, Michigan is. Oh, we got a couple. That's good. That's good. If you don't know, we're from Michigan, right? So we can do this. It's really easy. We're over here. That's what I always tell you. But I've been working with Kentico CMS for about 4 years now, and I absolutely love it. My topic today is going to be about how to integrate the world with Kentico CMS. So the way I like to try to do presentations is try to make people laugh. You know, I'm a technical person at heart, but technical stuff is pretty boring to listen to all the time. So I have a theme for my presentation, and that theme is when you use integration in your projects, you can become, or you can go from being a geek, which is what I kind of am like, to a rock star. So I have a little musical inspiration on my talk today, and here's my first quiz. Even though Brian's I thought a little bit earlier. Does anyone know who that is in the band? There, you said it. Nice. I don't think I can throw that far, so you can come up and get it. Okay. So, integration. People talk to me all the time about how do I move data from here to there, or how do I do this, or can we even, is this even possible? And I usually have to kind of step back a little bit and tell them what integration is. So playing along with my theme, in the musical sense, integration is a lot like taking multiple sources of data from all these different systems, whether that's like a routine, an API call, or the raw data, and bringing it together into one thing. And that's what like the mixing board lets you do. You know, bring all the sources into one track. And when you do that, and you use integration successfully, you can really create that one killer app. We integrate almost every product we do with Kentico. And Kentico is a perfect platform for it. So, I don't know if you've ever heard anyone tell you, but people who have to do a lot of manual entry with orders and POs and invoices and prices, manual entry sucks. It's just tedious, it's error prone. There's just a better way to do it nowadays, and we suggest that you use Kentico to do it. And when you do this, and you take someone's job who for 4 hours a week they have to just type in paper receipts into their ERP or into QuickBooks or whatever, and you take that task away from them, they fall in love with you. They're like, their life has changed drastically, and they tend to say things like, "Wow, I didn't even know this was possible." And for us as implementators of Kentico, we love hearing that from our customers. We love making them happy. I mean, that's why we do it, with that in mind. But Kentico, like I said, it's a great platform for integration. And the reason I truly believe that is because it's based off the Microsoft stack of technology. You have your SQL Server, your .NET framework. We've actually had to come in and kind of clean up some projects for people who tried to integrate with some of the open source technologies, and I kind of hate open source, but sometimes I don't think you can do enterprise type things like large integration with ERP systems or financial systems or things like that. So SQL or Microsoft has this great stack of technology, and Kentico is built on top of that because at its heart, Kentico is a .NET app with a bunch of user controls. It's just set up very well for us, and it gives us this great platform for integration. So we leverage that foundation. You know, we love using the Kentico API. You can do anything you need to with that. There's all sorts of macros to dynamically change conditions, bring data in and out as you need to. And my kind of key point here is, with Kentico, you don't have to roll your own. You don't have to start from scratch and build that reset password logic, or I forgot my password email system. You just use what's there. You don't have to worry about opening a database connection string and figuring out where to go to get it. Kentico has API features that you can just use to make that much easier. So don't roll your own when it comes to starting to integrate with Kentico. And again, these are what I like to think of as the instruments of integration. Kentico has a whole different set of options. They're all very good. Here's kind of a common list of many of them. I'm going to talk about 3 of these today. Integration bus is going to be the first one I'm going to talk about because a lot of people ask me what the integration bus is or what can it do. And it's just not a widely used aspect of Kentico, and I think it's undervalued. It's easy to use, and if you use it right, it's a powerful system. And the same thing can be said with the REST service. It's another tool of integration that Kentico provides out of the box with 6.0 and 7.0. And then there's the standard .NET stuff, whether you use coding from assembly or coding app-in. Custom schedule task, Brian gave us a great intro to that, so I'm not going to speak a whole lot about that. And then one of the new features in 7.0 is the social media auto-publishing. That's going to be my third one that I kind of center around and talk about. But you can think of them just like your drum kit or your guitar or your microphone as your instruments as a developer when you have to do integration. So one small point of logistics. Some of this stuff is fairly technical, and I'm not going to cover it in really high detail as well as with the time constraints in mind. Anytime you see that little beer logo on the slide, that means after this, please, if you have questions, stop me in the hallway, I'll buy you a beer. We'll talk more in detail because I can show you code, I can do a whole bunch of stuff, but I don't want to bog it down in the presentation right now. So the first major topic or tool of integration that I'm going to talk about is the integration bus. I like to think of it as a heartbeat of Kentico because it responds to just about everything that's going on. I mean, the bus handles synchronization in many two directions, incoming and outgoing, and it can respond to each event. If you think of it like the heartbeat, and anytime someone in the content tree makes a new page or updates a page, those are all events that fire, and this heartbeat just is watching and listening, and when certain triggers happen, you can capture that and run your own custom code to integrate. And that can be one way pushing out data to like a QuickBooks setup or ERP, whatever. And you can also respond to events from external systems to bring data into your Kentico installation. So I'm going to show that a little bit, and this little diagram kind of shows that it can be a connector between Kentico and an external system. My first rockstar tip for today is that when you do use the integration bus and you have workflow, which most people do use workflow, the documentation doesn't really say this, but there's a different kind of technical operation you have to watch out and listen for in that heartbeat, and that's the published document. If you don't do that, and people are updating and changing things, the bus just doesn't know about it. So when you're using workflow, remember to use this. And again, it's kind of technical, but that's my first tip. And again, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the high level, or low level details, but there's three major objects when you're talking about the integration bus. There's connectors, subscriptions, and then the data nodes. And catch me in the hallway, I'll go through this more. I don't want to read you the definition of things, but think of them as you set up what you want to do. When you want to do it is handled by the subscriptions, because you can subscribe to different events inside the system. And you don't have to do all of them. You have a certain set if you want to. And then the mode is just how much data you're moving in and out of Kentico. So that kind of leads me to my first little demo, and that's my demo tape, of course. I'm going to just show you one example I have prepared for today's session. All right, so I have the new Kentico e-commerce starter site kind of set up and running. And who is familiar with Bitly? Anybody? Okay, just very few. Sorry, if you don't know about it, Bitly is a URL shortening service that marketing people tend to like quite a bit because it shortens the URL and gives you metrics on how many people click that URL, where they came from, what their client was, all sorts of really great stuff for tracking how well your clicks are coming from, where they're coming from. It's used a lot in social media type of stuff. So I have a couple links on here. They're just Bitly links. And I'm going to just click one really quick. If the internet connection works, we should be getting to a page. That's my alarm. But anyways, it's just, I'm going to try to show here is someone clicked the Bitly link, it went to Bitly, and now Bitly knows about it, right? What I've done with Kentico on the integration bus is tied all the source of data that's over in Bitly's data center to my site here. This is the same site that I just showed you. This is we're logged into CMS Desk, of course. I have a couple test nodes that basically are mapped to those two Bitly links on the home page that I showed you. And when someone clicks those, we can now actually with the code sample I have kind of prepared, talk to Bitly, go grab every URL I've ever shortened, bring down how many people have clicked on it into a custom table in Kentico, and then show that in the analytics tab so that we're going to allow the marketers to see like, how that link is performing, how many people clicked on that action. So to do the integration bus, you have to just quickly tell it what your code is, and if anyone has seen the samples in the other room, it's really just you put the app code name in and the class name of what you're doing. Once that's set up, there is two ways to respond to external events with the integration bus. I'm going to show you the easiest one, and that's out of the box. There's a custom schedule task called process external integration tasks. All you have to do for this guy is tell it again which integration bus connector you're using. In the task data section down there, so I'm saying use the Bitly integration connector when I run this schedule task. And I'm going to run it. There we go. But what happens right now when we run it is it's going, logging, bringing that data in, and normally in a scenario where you would have a syncing service that you want to respond to from a third-party service, they would be pushing to Kentico, but for today's purposes, I just have it running on the schedule task. It runs, brings down all the content from Bitly into a custom table. I'll show you that. So we can see the shortened link, the long link, basically how many clicks people have, how many times people have clicked it, and when they've clicked it. And then to take it to the one final step, I've actually made that available to the Analytics tab as a new tab here called Bitly. And you can see, basically, for every node in the content tree, I'm mapping to the row in the custom table and showing how many people have clicked it. And that's happening on a scheduled basis or on demand, however fast you want to do it. It's just responding to different events and pushing data into Kentico. So you can kind of see how your links are doing. So there's my integration list. Anybody have any questions so far? The next instrument of integration that we're going to talk about today is the REST service. So here's my second quiz. Who knows what the acronym REST means?
Representational state transfer.
There you go. There you go. That is it. Representational state transfer. So REST, Kentico added this with 6.0. It's a resource that you can get data from or put data back to that responds and maps to every object in Kentico. It's a URL-based thing. It's kind of becoming a standard way for any web application to integrate with client-side interactions or just API calls. It's a standard in today's web environment. It's a style of coding, and in the .NET world, it's based off WCF. It's just basically a web service. But the nice thing that Kentico does is it provides this out of the box. You can use it securely. You can select, I only want to be able to read certain documents or update certain attachments or different things based off of your own desires. You can set all the security up, so it's a secure way of doing things too. In my little example here, the way you use REST is you basically hit a URL, and whenever you do a get, HTTP get, it returns the object. So a product that has an ID of 123, you return everything here, and you get the price, the name of it, if there's a picture attached. That will all come down through Kentico. You don't actually have to write any code to do this. It's already there. It's already all set up. So it's a really cool thing. The other nice thing is that it responds to more than just read-only. If you do a put or a post, you'll actually add or update objects in Kentico or documents in Kentico. So you can use this to do all sorts of things. But a tip when you're using any kind of REST development is to use a tool called Fiddler. This lets you see at the very low level, there's basically one row in the tool that responds to all the different actions when your web page loads up. And one of those is going to be your REST call, and you can kind of see the raw data coming back and forth from the request and response of the server. So when you're doing any REST and really any JavaScript, AJAX type coding, this tool is invaluable. It will save you a ton of time and headache when you're clicking that page and nothing's happening and you don't know what's going on. This guy will be able to tell you at the lowest level what's happening. So I use it really all the time. So I prepared a little example, but it's not actually code related. I'm just going to step through and talk in more of a case study scenario. We've used REST in multiple projects at Bitstream. The one that I like to talk about the most is actually for a company called Countryside Greenhouse. They've been using Kentico for a few years now. We have upgraded them throughout that, and I think they're onto the latest 6.0 release. They sell really a small amount of items on their website through the e-commerce solution, and I've kind of mocked up just basically one of their hot sellers. Our gift cards, because they're a seasonal-based business. Countryside, or greenhouses in general, do a ton of business right around Mother's Day and in the spring, and then kind of phased on after that. But the gift cards are huge, and they sell so many of them, it became kind of hard to track who was using them, who hadn't used them, were they expired. You know, they wanted to make sure people weren't returning that same gift card over and over. So we customized Kentico's product to basically generate this really great printout that they could bring in. Instead of having to wait for the plastic card to be mailed to them, the minute they bought it, because what happens is, as Mother's Day comes up, if you're like me, you wait till like, I don't know, 10 seconds before you're actually going to go see your mom for Mother's Day to get her a gift. So people do that all the time. And they would buy the product, and now instead of having to wait or pick up a card somewhere, they could print this out. It does a unique identifier to have that scanning solution. It shows them that they bought $100 worth of credit at Countryside. And then the point of sale system at Countryside is tied back to the website through the REST service. The minute the scanner, the clerk at the checkout register scans the gift card, it actually goes back to Kentico, updates the status via REST to order fulfilled, prevents you from being able to scan the thing twice. And then when the order happens initially, it also sends a call down to the point of sale system and activates the SKU. So you can't just bring any barcode with any unique identifier. There's like a two-way check. And we do that all through the REST service. And honestly, it shocked them, because to do this entire thing, it was actually less than a week of customization for their website. I mean, they came to us and they really wanted to get this done before Mother's Day this year, and we helped them do it. So it was a good project. Basically, this is just showing that the minute the point of sale system scans the code, it goes and updates the order status to payment received, or whatever the order status was. I can't remember, but it's a post from point of sale to Kentico through the REST service. Any questions about REST service yet? Okay. So the next instrument of integration I'm going to talk about is new in Kentico 7.0. Played around with it a little bit. It's social media auto-publishing. And the reason I think this is a really important new tool and it's useful is that I truly believe this. You know, everyone, whether you're a developer, an editor, a business owner, a support staff, everyone truly is lazy. People hate having to type stuff in twice, like I said before. So when you make that new job post on your website or add that new product, normally in today's world, you want to tell people about it. You want to get them engaged through social networking. So you're normally working in Kentico, typing your content, you're hitting save, putting a picture in, and then you have to go over to Twitter or Facebook or wherever, LinkedIn, doesn't matter, and type that same sort of thing in again, and put a link back to your website. And it just adds a little bit of time to your job if your content area needs this all the time. So Kentico 7 doesn't work for you. It actually now has this new feature that allows you to post data to those two systems. And shameless plug here, I do run a blog about Kentico, and I have a pretty cool blog post series exactly how to hook up this feature, how to do the Twitter app and the Facebook app, what settings to add into Kentico. It's purely a configuration to get it all working. It's not any code, so that's why we like it too. But it walks through every single step, and you can hit my blog to see the full post series if you want to. So I'm not going to show everything about it, but I thought I would quickly show the app work or function. So I'm going to jump back to the CMS desk. And I have a little demo page here set up. But on the Form tab, out of the box, when you make a new blog post, you get some new fields that never used to be there. You know, you have your standard ones, but here are the newer ones. Auto post at Facebook and auto post at Twitter. You can actually type in whatever you want in here and link it back to the blog post all in one step while you're working through creating that new document. And pretty much it's a click of a button to post that information to Twitter, all from Kentico. You don't have to jump outside and log back into Twitter and do all that stuff. You just click the button. Pretend that didn't happen. There's something going on there now. And it tells you in a nice message that the post worked, and it gives you a link down to Twitter that shows you that. And after you type it in, you can visit Twitter. Actually have it over here. And the information you typed in shows up. It's pretty cool. Seamless integration. You can configure it actually to post on demand of the button click if you want, or actually when you publish a document or your blog post to the workflow in Kentico. And so you can set these things up ahead of time and schedule the publish, and on the Facebook post and the Twitter post will just kind of happen on its own as it's supposed to. I've showed a couple people this that are our customers. They really are excited about it. They can't wait for us to upgrade their website.
Right, how do you set the link back to the blog?
Say again?
Can you insert the link back to the blog post?
Okay, so the question is, can you insert a link back to the blog post? At this moment, if you put a link in here and you configure URL shortening, it will shorten it and link it back, but it is a manual step. I'm going to suggest this probably in user voice that if we could get away with putting macros in the text right here, we could do that much easier. So Tom, write that down.
All over.
But it's a manual step right now, though, is the answer. Go ahead.
Question, can you configure it to post to different accounts for the same like documents? So if I have some sort of event doc or something, but I've got different groups that have different Twitter accounts essentially, can I set that up somehow, or is there any way to do that based on either where those docs are been stored in the content tree or anything like that?
Well, right now, out of the box, there's custom settings that you configure for what account that it goes to. And I believe, I have to check with the Kentico guys on this a little bit, but I believe it's a one account. So if you just configure your social network settings for Twitter, don't steal my secret keys because this is weird stuff, but you kind of set it up and use it as everything goes there. Now, because of the way the code's written, I think it'd be pretty easy to configure and customize it to do that. But out of the box, it's all going to go to one place. Okay, go ahead.
When you schedule a post to Facebook and you're linking it back to a page that hasn't actually been posted yet, so you're scheduling it out again. On Facebook, you're able to choose the image so that it will go with the post, but if it's scheduled for a week in advance, that page isn't live yet, and so it won't have any image. So I'm not able to schedule any Facebook posts ahead of time for pages that haven't already been published. Is that going to take care of that issue?
So the question is, can you basically take something else besides the text, like the image you want to get to Facebook ahead of time through this tool? I think the answer to that is no. To be honest, I think you can actually only do text in here, and it's only going to put it to
On your WYSIWYG editor, you have an image. That what?
No, not an image through there. If you're linking to a page on the website, and when you schedule that via like Hootsuite right now,
Right.
you can go through and pick what image off that page will go with your post.
Oh, the thumbnail preview
Yes.
that actually goes on Facebook?
Yeah. And I can't schedule any Facebook posts ahead of time for content that I've already had planned. And, I would like to, once I post an article and schedule it for next week, go ahead and post a Facebook
Right.
message and tweet along with it. But I can't do it for Facebook right now because you can't take the thumbnail image if the page is live.
Yeah. I think you're going to be in the same situation still. This doesn't have everything that like a Hootsuite has, which is a really great tool. It's kind of meant for more of the text status updates. But again, I think you could probably easily extend the system to do that. But out of the box, that's probably not the main focus. I'll try to get a better answer with Tom after this. Good questions though. Anybody else? Any other questions? Okay. All right, so I have a couple left. Rockstar tip 3. You can do this auto-publishing for more than just blog posts. Anything you add in the system, any document type that you make that's custom, specific to your instance of Kentico, if you add 2 fields that end in auto-post, or sorry, 1 field that ends in auto-post, and it's a long text, this auto-publishing to Facebook and Twitter appear for those document types. So you can do this to any document type in the system, not just blog posts. So in summary, my goal today was sort of to tell you and introduce you to the fact of integration, helps you deliver successful solutions and make your customers happy. I think Kentico, especially Kentico EMS, is the perfect platform for that. We do it all the time, and we love it. There's many instruments of integration. There's the 3 I talked about. There's more. There's things like the translation engine that they introduced yesterday. That is integration. You can extend it and you can use it. And when you deliver integrated solutions, it helps you go from being a geek to a rock star. So that's it. Any more questions? Okay. I'll have the slides and sample code up on my website at this URL right here after the conference. Again, beer icon means seeing me anytime after this. I'll be happy to buy you guys a beer. And here's my contact info. Any questions, you can follow up with me that way. Thank you.